Letting go. Two words that sound peaceful, but feel like destruction when you're the one holding on. Everyone talks about growth and healing, but nobody tells you that the most painful part of spiritual awakening isn't finding yourself. It's losing what no longer fits the version of you that's growing. Letting go is the hardest spiritual lesson because it goes against everything the human mind is wired to do. The mind wants safety, predictability, and control. But higher consciousness doesn't grow in control. It grows in chaos, in surrender, in the places where you're forced to release what you thought you couldn't live without. That's why chosen ones, the people who truly awaken, often go through a season of isolation and confusion, because their old world starts to fall apart, and the people, habits, and identities they once relied on begin to slip away, piece by piece. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Letting go strips you down to your rawest form so you can finally see who you really are without the noise of what you've outgrown. But here's the truth no one wants to face. Letting go doesn't just mean releasing people or things. It means releasing the version of yourself that existed in those connections. You're not just saying goodbye to someone. You're saying goodbye to who you were when they were in your life. You're shedding identities you built to be accepted, loved, or understood. That's why it hurts so much. You're grieving yourself. The memories, the comfort, the sense of control, all of it feels like it's dying, and in a way it is. That's what transformation looks like. And this is why most people resist it. They think holding on is strength. But real strength is when you stop trying to force what's falling apart and let it fall. You stop begging life to return what's already expired. Because the truth is, if something is meant for your higher path, it will never require you to chase it endlessly. Every spiritual awakening begins with a breakdown of what you thought was real. You start noticing the cracks in the illusion, the relationships that feel heavy, the jobs that drain you, the routines that no longer inspire you. And instead of fixing the cracks, life starts breaking the whole structure. You panic. You try to patch it back together. You call it bad luck or betrayal or failure. But later, when the storm clears, you realize that everything that collapsed was built on a version of you that no longer exists. That's why letting go feels cruel, because it doesn't come with a warning. It just happens. One day you wake up and realize you can't keep pretending that something still fits. The friendship that once felt safe now feels suffocating. The dream you chased for years suddenly feels empty. And you can't explain it. You just know. You know something inside you has shifted. And even if you wanted to go back, you couldn't. That's spiritual evolution. The silent awakening that forces you to let go of comfort to make space for alignment. The hardest part isn't losing. It's accepting that you were never really in control in the first place. You held on because you thought effort equals outcome. But effort doesn't keep things alive. Energy does. And when energy no longer flows between you and something, forcing it is like trying to water a dead plant. You can't bring it back to life by pouring more of yourself into it. Yet we still try. We stay in toxic jobs because they pay the bills. We stay around people who drain us because we don't want to be alone. We replay old stories because they make us feel safe. But eventually, even the comfort starts to hurt. That's when life whispers, it's time. And if you don't listen to the whisper, it starts shouting. You'll notice signs everywhere. Your peace gets smaller, your energy gets lower, and your intuition grows louder. That's your higher consciousness telling you that the lesson isn't in holding tighter, it's in letting go. People romanticize spiritual awakening like it's all calm energy and inner peace, but it's actually messy. It's ugly crying in your car because something inside you knows it's time to walk away, but your mind keeps begging you to stay. It's deleting the message and typing it again, fighting between your growth and your attachment. It's the silent moments where you realize how much of your identity was built on things that were never truly you. That's why letting go feels like dying, because it's ego death. The false self starts dissolving. And what's left behind is pure awareness. The part of you that doesn't need to control, impress, or chase. That's the real freedom you've been craving. But to reach it, you have to pass through the chaos of detachment. The irony is, once you finally release what's weighing you down, you realize you were never losing anything real. You were just losing illusions. The people who left weren't rejecting you. They were making room for new connections that align with your frequency. The failures weren't signs of weakness. They were redirects to paths where you could actually grow. But in the moment, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like everything is collapsing. That's the paradox. Spiritual awakening often feels like falling apart before it feels like rising. Letting go is the bridge between those two states. It's the moment when you stop fighting what's ending and start trusting what's beginning, even when you can't see it yet. Sometimes you'll think you've let go, but then a memory will sneak back and pull at you. That's okay. Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision. It's choosing peace over control. It's reminding yourself that what's meant for you won't require constant anxiety to maintain. You'll slip, you'll revisit the past, and you'll miss what you released. But that's all part of the process. The key is to stop turning your memories into prisons. Stop replaying what went wrong and start focusing on what you learned. Every time you resist the urge to chase what's gone, you reclaim a piece of your power. And eventually you realize you were never losing control. You were gaining clarity. There's a moment that comes after every deep release. Silence. It's the kind of silence that feels empty at first, but later reveals itself as peace. You wake up one day and notice you're no longer triggered by the things that used to consume you. The message you never got doesn't hurt anymore. The closure you never received doesn't matter anymore. You stop waiting for explanations. You stop needing to prove anything. You've detached. That's when you truly understand what letting go means. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about being free. Free from the illusions that made you believe your worth depended on anything outside of you. Free from the cycles that drained your spirit. Free from needing to understand every ending. The funny thing is, once you finally master the art of letting go, life starts giving you back everything you once chased. But this time, it's healthy, aligned, and peaceful. You attract people who don't make you question your value. You find opportunities that don't require you to betray your peace. You experience success that doesn't come with exhaustion. That's the reward of surrender. You stop forcing and start flowing. You move from trying to control your destiny to coexisting with it. And that's when your higher consciousness starts expanding effortlessly. You begin to notice synchronicities, timing, and flow. You realize that the things that are truly meant for you don't create resistance, they create harmony. But here's the twist. Even after reaching that level of peace, life will test you again. Because letting go isn't something you do once. It's something you live. Every new level of growth will demand a new level of release. You'll have to let go of old beliefs, even good ones. You'll have to release the comfort of being understood by everyone. You'll have to detach from the need to be liked, accepted, or validated. It never ends, but it gets easier. Because the more you practice letting go, the more you realize that what's truly yours never leaves. It just transforms. That's what makes chosen ones so rare. They don't resist transformation. They allow it. They understand that endings are just disguised beginnings. So if you're in that stage right now, the in-between where everything feels uncertain, understand that this is your initiation into higher awareness. You're not being punished. You're being purified. The things falling away aren't meant to destroy you. They're meant to reveal you. You're becoming lighter so you can rise higher. And when you finally reach that point where your peace matters more than your attachments, you'll understand the hidden wisdom behind letting go. You'll see that real love doesn't demand control. Real success doesn't require struggle. And real growth doesn't happen through holding tighter. It happens through trusting deeper. So don't rush your release. Feel it fully. Grieve if you need to. But don't forget that what's leaving your life is only clearing space for what belongs. One day you'll look back and realize that the things you cried over were the same things blocking your peace. That the people who left were your greatest teachers. That the silence you feared was the start of your freedom. And in that realization, you'll finally understand that letting go was never about losing. It was about coming home to yourself. If this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Remember to like and subscribe, not just because it helps the channel, but because it means this message found you at the right moment in your journey. Keep rising, keep expanding, and trust that what's meant for you will never require you to hold on so tightly.